Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Rabbi.
Good morning.
Today's learning is sponsored by the Garland children, Lezecha Nishmas, in memory of their uncle, Chaim Gavriel ben Moshe Nachum, Neshama Shavan Aliyah.
Amen.
Okay. Ketana Sha'amra Hiskabali Giti, a girl who's a minor, under Bas Mitzvah, who tells someone, receive my get for me. As we previously learned, a woman can appoint someone to be her shliach, to be her agent, to receive the get for her. And once the shliach receives the get, it's like she received it, she's divorced. In this case, the minor told someone to receive the get for her. The minor made this person a shliach to receive the get for her. Ain't a get. It is not a get. Ad shegia get liyada, until the get reaches her hand. Lefikach, therefore, imratza ba'alachzar, if before it comes to her hand, the husband wants to back out, wants to change his mind, yachzar, he can do so. The reason for all this is she'en katan oiseh shaliach, because a minor cannot appoint someone as an agent for them. That's a rule. That's a rule regarding the law of shlichus that we derive from a word in the Torah. We derive this power of attorney of sorts, this power of agency. The Torah only we derive from where we derive that from. We derive that the shliach, the person appointing the shliach, has to be an adult. The shliach has to be an adult. The one appointing the shliach has to be an adult. And therefore, in this case, the ketana who appointed this person as her shliach didn't have the power to do so. And nonetheless, at the end of the day, we do say that if when the get gets to her hand, that it works, which would mean that if this person who she said to receive the get received it for her, and then he gave it to her, that would work. And that's because, as they explain here in the notes, everybody understands, everybody knows that a minor cannot appoint someone as a shliach for them, and therefore it is understood that when the husband gives the get to the agent of the minor, that he is not going to be receiving it for her. With his receiving of it, she won't be divorced, but he is meant to be a shliach to bring it to her. And therefore, once he brings it to her and she receives it, the get will be a good get. Now, what is interesting to note is that it says it's not a get until it reaches her hand, which means that you could actually give a get to a minor. If she was married, her father married her off as a minor, she actually could receive the get. And that may sound a little bit contradictory to what we learned before, where we said we had a machlekes before, even by a nara, by a girl who's older, she's already an adult. But that where the father goes ahead and the question was by a nara whether both she and the father have the ability to receive the get for her or not. When it comes to a katana, if a katana's father is around, the halacha is that he's the one who receives the get, not her. But what we're talking about here is that she has no father anymore. When she has no father, then already she does have the power to receive her get. And even though she's a minor, and as a minor, she can't necessarily make any kind of transactions, being that we say that a woman does not need consent to be divorced according to Torah law, so the mere fact that it lands up in her hand would be enough. And as we learned yesterday, and she's old enough to understand about being divorced, she would be divorced. Also, it's important to point out that this whole right, and again, I'm sorry. Now, so that's regarding where she makes the shliach. But now the Mishnah says, "Avolim Omar loy avia." Let's say her father. There's a father around. He has the power to receive the get for her. If he were to say to an agent, "Save iskabel biti gita," go and accept for my daughter her get, that means the father who is an adult and who has the power to receive the get, he makes a shliach lekabbalah. He makes a shliach to receive the get. Basically, it's his shliach to receive the get. And the shliach does so. And ratza lahachzer lo yachzer, can't back out anymore, because the father has the power. Just he has the power to marry her. To marry her off. He has the power to accept her divorce, and he made the shliach to do so. So it works. Now, they point out here on the bottom that actually, in order for this to work, it has to be that the girl is being divorced from Erison. She's being divorced from just having Kedusha. She didn't have Nisuin, she didn't have full marriage yet. Because once she has full marriage, the father would not be able to receive the get for her. She would not be able because she's out of his domain. So therefore, she would be able to receive the get by herself. Again, there's no father because he died, or in this case, where if she was already after Nisuin, the father has no more domain over her, then she would have to be the one to actually receive the get. Okay, but our Mishnah is talking about that the get is coming from Erison. At that point, the same way the father can divorce or he can receive the get, and if he makes the agent to receive the get, then the agent is a good agent, and once he received it, the girl is divorced. Next case. A person says to an agent, give this get to my wife in this place. He specifies the place where to give the get. He appointed a shliach, and he told the shliach to give the get. And he tells the shliach to give the get in this place. And he bumped into her somewhere else, and he gave it to her in that other place. Says the Mishnah puzzle, it's not a good get. When the husband says these words, give it to her in this place, that means that he is makbid. That means he is specific that it must be in this place. The reason would be because it seems that where the get is given, where people hear about the divorce, and when people hear about a divorce, they can start talking about the guy. And he doesn't want the get to be given other than in the place that he specified, because in that place he knows they're not going to start talking about him for divorcing his wife. And therefore, since he was specific in where it should go, it comes out that he only made this person an agent, a shliach, for him to give the get in that specific place. Never made him a shliach, an agent, to give it anywhere else. And therefore, if he gives it anywhere else, puzzle, the get is invalid. But if he says, Harei b'makam pleni, he says, give the get to my wife because she is in this place. He doesn't say, give it to her in this place, but give it to her because she is in this place. And at the end, he gives it to her in a different place. Kasher. Then it's kasher. Because when he used those words, and he says, she is in this place, all he's doing is telling the shliach where she is, that he should know where to locate her. They should know where to locate her. But it's not like he is particular about that place. And therefore, if at the end comes out that he gives her in a different place, he's still a shliach, he's still his agent, and the get is a kosher get. Next. Ha'isha sha'amra hiskabeli gitim pleni. Let's say the woman is the one who told her shliach to receive the get from me in this place. V'kiblei labamakam acher, and then her agent took the get in a different place. Puzzle. Again, the same thing, puzzle. She is makbid, she is particular about the place where she wants to be, that it should come out she's divorced. She also has this thing about people talking about her. And therefore, she says, in this place, she's specific. He is only a shliach in that place. And therefore, in any other place he receives the get, it's puzzle. Rebbe Eliezer machsher. Rebbe Eliezer says, no, it's a kosher get. Now, even when she says, receive it from me in this place, we assume she does not mean to be particular about the case. Why is that? So they explain it as like this. I'll read to you from the notes. Since a woman can be divorced against her will, she is not in a position to insist that her husband give her the get only in the place of her choice. Number one, if she tells her husband, I'm only taking my get in this place, too bad. It can be, if it lands up in her hand, she's divorced. She doesn't have the right to say that's the Torah law about giving a get. It's all about the husband. We don't need her consent. So if she were to say, I'm only taking the get in this place, that wouldn't make a difference. Also, she also has no reason to assume that her husband will agree to give the get to her agent in the place she said. Take it to me from that place. If she means only in that place. And how does she know he's going to agree? She needs his agreement. So how does she know? So consequently, I'm just going to continue reading. Consequently, Rebbe Eliezer holds that even if she does mention a place to the agent, we assume that she means to tell him only where her husband can be found. Meaning, even though she said the wording was receive it in this specific place, she said receive it in this place, which by a man doing so, it would be understood as particular to this place. In the case of a woman, we assume that even though she said receive it in this place, she only means to let the shliach know where her husband can be found, and therefore the get, according to Rebbe Lezer, is kosher even in a different place. And the Bartanura says the halacha is not like Rebbe Lezer. Now, I would add by Rebbe Lezer, even with these reasons that the woman she can't she can't insist the get being given in a certain place. She doesn't know whether the husband will agree to the place where she wants to give it to. But at the end of the day, her shliach cannot act as a shliach against her will. According to Belezer, if the woman said, "You're not my shliach anymore," and he gives her to get, she's not a shliach. It didn't come to her hand. So as much as the actual divorce doesn't have to happen with her consent, but for this person to be her shliach, he needs her consent. So Belezer has to understand that, she could be particular and say, only in this place are you a shliach. But Belezer assumes that's not what she means. Because being that the divorce in general is not up to her, she can't in general insist from the husband where the get should be given. She's also not in control to know whether he's going to agree to her insistence. Therefore, Belezer says we assume that she doesn't mean to be particular that the shlichus only will work in this place, but just that she means to point out where he is. Okay, the last part of the Mishnah reads, Have legiti mima complaini. She tells a person, bring me my get from this and this place. And he brought it from another place. Kosher, it's kosher. Now, in this case, again, the case is the woman says to a person, right, to another person, bring for me my get from another place. Now, when she says bring for me the get, what is she doing? She didn't say hiskabel. She didn't use a language that says receive it for me. She just said bring it to me. Bring it to me means, get it from my husband and bring it back for me. She can't decide that. That's not up to her. Mm-hmm. She can't make a shliach for her husband to bring her a get, which is essentially what it sounds like she's doing. And therefore, she knows that she knows at the end of the day that all she's doing is telling a guy, go to my husband, ask him if you could be the shliach to bring it to me, and bring it to me. Okay, that's the case. Now, even though she said, bring it to me from this and this place, even according to the first opinion, she's not being specific about it. Because the divorce is not taking place. Let me just get him. Right. Number one, this guy is not her shliach to say, okay, only do it here. She can't make the shliach for the husband. And therefore, all she's doing is giving him instructions to go and ask him to be appointed as a shliach and bring it to me. Okay. Now, I would add, but she said, but only get it from this place. So, maybe she only wants it from that place. So the way I understand it is because where the get is sent from is not where people talk. People talk where the get takes place, where she's divorced. So being that where the get is just coming from a different place, that's not going to be part of her insistence or her problem about the fact people are going to talk about her. And at the same time, she can't make this guy her shliach to be able to create any kind of condition on him. And therefore, at the end of the day, when she says, bring me my get from a certain place, she doesn't mean, as we're saying here, is not making the person, right. At the end of the day, where she's not being particular, she's just saying, where to go to get from my husband and ask him to be appointed as the shliach and bring it to me. There's no any kind of insistence about that place, and therefore the get is kosher, even if he didn't bring it from that place. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Rabbi.